Welcome to Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus from WVU Coliseum in Morgantown. A couple of teams desperate for a win tonight as the Iowa State Cyclones visit the West Virginia Mountaineers. It is great to have you with us tonight, working remotely, along with former NBA player and executive Lance Blanks. I'm Mark Neely. Lance, the good news, the great news for West Virginia tonight is that Taz Sherman is back from concussion protocol.
Yeah, maybe it's lucky 7. They've lost 7 in a row, and you said it well. Having him back, Taz, would be huge. His 20 points, Mark. Last game, he only scored 53. So they're going to need his offense desperately to have a chance in this game. Obviously, McNeil can shoot the ball, but having Taz back is great news. On the other side for Iowa State, they have a young man, Zay, as they like to call him, Isaiah Brockington. He is a violent rebounder, and he can really score the ball. In particular, Mark, you know this, we called his games inside of the arc. He is as deadly as any player in the nation. They, too, will need his offense. We should have a nice battle on our hands tonight, Mark.
And we are off and running from Morgantown. It is Iowa State wearing their Cardinal red uniforms that have the game's first possession.
Yeah, Iowa State in that last outing, they got beat up, I thought, Mark, by Texas. Particularly, not only inside, just everywhere. And they did that to Texas in the game in Hilton. So they're going to need to get back that aggressive, if you will, overpowering type basketball that they were playing early in the season.
Here's the starting 5 for TJ Otzelberger's squad. Hunter Brockington, Kalsher, Aruna, who committed the turnover on the first possession, and Robert Jones. Here's Bridges. He's going to shoot a 3 from the right side and nails it. He had a big first half on Saturday against Texas Tech, but did not score in the second half after 4 threes and 16 points in half number 1 on Saturday.
Yeah, in the second half, collectively, they only had 4 field goals. But as a team, they started big in that Texas Tech game. You know, you did that. Actually started 11-2 and were unable to sustain it offensively.
You see the starters for West Virginia, 2 starters who have started every game, Kedria Johnson and Isaiah Cottrell, not in the starting lineup tonight, as Kobe Johnson is. And there's Pauly who's back in the lineup tonight, taking a charge.
Well, you see the guys up front doing a great job, starting with the kind of aggression they started with against Texas Tech.
TJ Otzelberger, 44-year-old, the 21st head coach in Iowa State school history. He spent a couple of stints as an assistant at Ames and now back as the head man.
Yeah, and I spent some time with Coach for that Texas game, and he was a joy to talk to.
Kobe Johnson making just his second start of the season. His first start was against Radford back on December 4th. And Iowa State, a couple of possessions, both turnovers, and West Virginia's turned them both into 3s.
Well, that's a huge 3 for Kobe. That can give you a lot of confidence. Coach Huggins shaking things up, trying to get some offense.
Looking for Brockington, but a little too strong as he tried to kiss it off the glass.
Yeah, and everything is on the left side of the floor here early. Iowa State thinks they see something over there, but West Virginia, Mark, they're just building a wall literally on the left side defensively.
McNeil using the dribble, defended by Kalsher. Back to the middle for Pauly. Bridges, kick, another 3 left side. That one's a little long from Kobe Johnson. Well, the Cyclones looking to get on the board. Hit into the hands of Isaiah Brockington, but back out 3. Tyrese Hunter indeed gets the Cyclones on the board.
Yeah, Hunter is such a great guard. He doesn't force anything. He's young. He's only a freshman, Mark, but he has such poise. You and I have done games where we've seen him. It's a huge basket by him early.
That's tied up. Possession arrow will keep it with West Virginia. Isaiah Cottrell is going to check in for Bob Huggins. There is Coach Huggins. 913 wins in season 15 in Morgantown, and number 40 overall as a head coach.
Yes, it's been a rough season this year. I saw them earlier against against Marquette, and just thought they would have a much better season than they've had up to this point.
They come in having lost 7 in a row. After starting conference play 2-1, they're now 2-7. But Iowa State, they've dropped 2 in a row in 4 of their last 6. So as we mentioned right up front, Lance, both these teams really hunting a win tonight.
Yeah, and a lot of the games the Mountaineers have played in where there have been losses, I mean, they haven't even been close. And the story really, Mark, and you know this well, it's really been about scoring. They've lacked the scoring. Other than Sherman, they just haven't been able to make baskets. Even in the last game against Texas Tech, they were pretty good, held them to 37% on the game from the floor, which is very respectable, but they were a piddly 24% offensively from the floor.
Sherman on the board with a couple of free throws. Both these teams had second halves to forget on Saturday. West Virginia led by 6 at the break against Texas Tech, but went 4 for 32 from the field in the second half. Wound up losing 60-53. Down low with the left hand. Scoring is George Condit.
Yeah, that's just too easy. The bigs for Iowa State, they do a good job of just setting screens, catching like that on dives, and finishing. They are a great support mechanism to guys like Brockington and Hunter. You see, comes off the screen, the dive. No one comes over to tag and pick him up. Around the basket, Condit's able to finish that quite easily.
And a drive to the rim, but Chaz Sherman can't get it as it rolls off the front lip. Condit again. Tipped around and out. A second chance for Condit. He'll take a third, fourth. None of them successful.
Boy, that was excellent defense and offense by Condit. You got to finish that, but he's the one who caused the miss by Sherman.
3 left wing, around and out for Bridges. The only thing Condit did on that last trip, by the way, was padding his offensive rebounding numbers because he had 3 of his own there.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to go up a little stronger. He was babying that up, and it caught up with him.
West Virginia off to a 2 for 5 shooting start. Iowa State now 2 for 6, and West Virginia turns it over as Tyrese Hunter came around and broke that up. And coming the other way, high off the glass, Kauscher, nothing there. Bridges knocks down Kuntz. They play on. That's a 3 from Taz Sherman.
Sherman for 3.
Mark, this is reminiscent of their last game against Texas Tech. They start out hot, West Virginia, and unable to sustain it. Certainly a positive if you can get Taz going this early. West Virginia already up early, 11-5 over Iowa State. The news keeps getting great for West Virginia. For a team who only scored 53 points in their last outing, they are raining threes here earlier, and they are coming from different places, as well as from Taz Sherman, their best player and their guy who averages about 20 points a game. That is huge to start. And again, much like the Texas Tech game, the key will be sustaining it defensively. They're doing all the right things on that end of the floor. This is a team that needs offense.
Well, after the Taz Sherman 3 went through, our official Doug Sherman stopped play, and he issued a flop warning to Aliaz Kuntz for Iowa State. That was the reason play stopped after the made 3. Iowa State off to a 2 for 7 start from the field tonight. Hunter lost the ball and then trying to get it back. They're going to call a foul on West Virginia. It's going to go against Seth Wilson, who's checked in the game.
Yeah, Seth did a great job. He's in position. Seth, you got him. You're fine. You're much bigger. You're much stronger. There's no need or reason to reach in and commit that foul.
Seth Wilson, a true freshman, Moraine, Ohio, in for the 11th time this year. And Coach Huggins said, hey, he's been playing really well in practice. He's going to get more playing time, and he's getting a chance fairly early in this one tonight. Brockington in and out. Tip, Condit. Kuntz had it, lost it as it's grabbed by Isaiah Cottrell.
Well, this is a fine 5 minutes for West Virginia on both ends of the floor.
Adrian Johnson, who did not start tonight, now in there off the bench. Same with Cottrell, and his pass is picked off by Caleb Grill. And then Hunter falls down, manages not to travel. Grill gets it back to Hunter, and now he launches a three that's off the front rim. Kuntz trying to back tap it out, did so aggressively, but right to McNeil of West Virginia.
Cottrell's last pass was the worst place you want to put that ball in that situation.
Well, Seth Wilson with the bucket. Just his 6th made field goal of the season.
Yeah, but he has the size and the strength, Mark, to impose his will, especially with Hunter. I mean, look at that body. He's built
West Virginia,
almost like a running back. Low center of gravity, very strong. Obviously not afraid to take it to the basket.
Well, when Taz Sherman was concussed late in the game at Baylor 8 days ago, Sherman came in late, played a couple of minutes, got 6 quick points. And, of course, Sherman did not play on Saturday against Texas Tech because of the concussion protocol, but back tonight. Pass intended for Brockington from Jones, and another Iowa State turnover. Wilson's going to shoot a three. His 4th made 3 of the season, and what a start here for Seth Wilson off the bench tonight.
Positivity builds off itself. Wilson obviously made the last basket. The threes have been falling, as we've shown, and they've been able to sustain defense on this end. And lastly, Brockington, they're keeping him incredibly quiet.
Offensive rebound and a block by Damon Kerrigan. That's now the last 7 from the field. All misses from Iowa State as West Virginia's on an 8-0 run, trying to increase that. And Wilson makes it a 10-0 run.
Timeout, Iowa State.
Iowa State may be asking, hey, wait a minute, who's Seth Wilson? They're finding out.
Well, how about Coach Huggins shaking things up and getting an incredible response? None better than Seth. I mean, that's what you've got to do. You start with the starting lineup and you change that, and then you got guys like Wilson coming in, getting it done on both ends. Obviously, offensively, he's been incredibly impressive. Teammates have been finding him, and then he goes and hunts down his own shot, shooting it right over the top of Grill's defense. But he's hot. This also, Mark, this takes a lot of pressure. This 10-0 run in the last 3:42 takes a lot of pressure off of Taz, who's just coming back and getting his legs under him after the concussion protocols.
Well, Seth Wilson, I mentioned, had 6 points in 2 minutes at Baylor 8 days ago. Right now he has 7 points in 2 minutes, 3 of 3 from the field. One of those made field goals, a 3-point shot. Well, Iowa State trying to end the drought. They've missed their last 8 from the field, and it's been about 4 minutes since they have scored. West Virginia foul. Kerrigan called for the personal by Doug Shermans.
Damon Kerrigan, his first, team foul number 3.
You know, one of the things I think that has been the key for West Virginia, aside from the obvious with the offense, Mark, is just defensively. They've been incredibly solid on every single possession. They're not giving up anything easy. There you see it there. It's a fight to try to get to the basket.
Caleb Grill, 3 out front. Good. Iowa State needed that bucket, and Caleb Grill off the bench provides it.
Yeah, he can do that. He can shoot that from the perimeter. That's good offense and good defense. The offense was just a little bit better. He's got a very quick release, Grill, and is able to knock that one down.
Long pass run down by Kalsher. He elects to shoot the wide open 3 and left it short. Jones can't come up with the rebound for the Cyclones, and here's Wilson.
A good decision.
Kalsher. An Iowa State foul. West Virginia's hit their last 4 from the field. Iowa State just 1 for the last 10. And the Mountaineers have opened up 10-point lead with under 12 to play in the half. Of 9 from the field, 4 of 6 from beyond the arc. And Seth Wilson has been a welcome spark off the bench tonight for Bob Huggins' team.
Yeah, I think the spark started with the change in the lineup. Seth has not played a ton. He's only played in about 10 games. So he's also a preparation nightmare, Mark, in that you don't know maybe all that he can do as a basketball player, and he gets on the court and starts making shots. Can't use the statistics to measure him, and shows the heart of a champion and comes in and lifts his team to a 10-point lead here early.
Paulie Cap a miss, but there's Bridges to clean it up underneath and lay it in.
I love Bridges when he's not settling for threes. And half of his shots come from that area of the floor. Use that length.
Paulie Cap
Cap
with the foul.
Whistled for the foul. His first, team's fourth.
Paulie Cap making a start tonight, is third of the season, second in a row as he got the start as well. On Saturday, a slip and a fall.
Iowa State is totally out of kilter.
Kuntz trying to tie that up with Paulie Cap, and it is. Possession arrow will give it to Iowa State, so Kuntz got a hand in there.
Kuntz, who they like to call Jazz, he did a great job there rotating. He was there early.
Tristan Enaruna and Isaiah Brockington.
Hey, there's Roy Williams wearing a West Virginia shirt. He said he had never seen a game at WVU Coliseum, never coached in this facility, wanted to be able to have that experience of actually attending a game, so he is here tonight, and it's special to have him and Bob Huggins in the same building. We'll explain why here shortly. Enaruna, a couple opportunities, the 2 misses for Iowa State.
Yeah, just nothing easy for Iowa State right now. Everything is major effort. West Virginia isn't, very stingy on the defensive end.
Paulie Cap created the turnover with quick hands, but a miss, and in the other way, here comes Brockington to respond for the Cyclones.
Brockington, the lefty, he's so good inside of the arc, and there you saw him use that athleticism. Arguably, he and Agbaji are probably the most athletic guys in this league in the Big 12.
Intended for Sherman, instead it goes to Kalsher. He races it ahead. Here's Brockington for Enaruna. Almost a carry there by Enaruna.
Yeah, I think Enaruna got away with one, Mark.
And now he loses the ball, diving for it. Condon rolling around, able to do so and flip it to Enaruna, who gets it back into the front court. Brockington, the lefty, fires, and it's off the right side.
How about that? You get to the 50-50 ball as a unit, and then guys get back in position to contest and defend. You think West Virginia doesn't want this tonight, Mark? Wow.
Wow. Wow, he's right. Well, we mentioned Bob Huggins visiting with Roy Williams before the game. What do those two have in common? Well, they are the only 2 head coaches with 300 or more wins at 2 different Division I schools. There's Bob Huggins with Cincinnati and West Virginia, and Roy Williams with Kansas and North Carolina. There they are. How about that?
Yeah, and Coach Williams, obviously, passing the range at North Carolina and on the tour, seeing buddies in the business and obviously enjoying his post-career time.
Roy Williams was able to go back to Allen Fieldhouse not long ago as well. Grill. Brockington wanted to back down Kedrian Johnson. Spins towards the baseline, and some contact from Johnson and a West Virginia foul.
Well, Johnson did a great job of not allowing Brockington to really get into his sweet spot and force the fadeaway. He's holding his hands up as if he didn't touch him, but this is great defense.
Isaiah Brockington.
Can't necessarily see. I got to trust that the call was the right call, but again, just exceptional defense. at every level of the floor here, Mark, for Iowa State.
Sean McNeil checks back
First
in
free
for
throws of the game
Mountaineers.
for the Cyclones come with 9:02 to play in the half, and Brockington, who's better than an 80% foul shooter, knocks down the first.
And Isaiah Brockington, I think he's been arguably the main key to this team in their early start with no losses. And he's found a home, and they heavily rely on him offensively.
McNeil open from the left corner. Drains a three, and the three ball has been kind to West Virginia. They've hit 5 of the 10 they've attempted so far.
And it's been multiple guys, Mark. McNeil shoots about 37% from that mark. He is the key, he and Sherman.
Brockington, quick pass. Aruna able to finish and kiss it in.
By Aruna.
Well, one of the first times that Iowa State's been able to change sides of the floor with the ball. That's what contributed to that opportunity.
Gabo Saboyan will use the dribble. Malik Curry.
West Virginia pretty much getting anything they want on the offensive end.
Both C's part for Tyrese Hunter, who lays it in. Pulls Iowa State back within 10 with under 8 minutes to play in this first half.
It's only the second time Iowa State has been able to do that, score back-to-back baskets.
Intended for McNeil. And an Iowa State steal. 6 West Virginia turnovers. Iowa State's turned it over 5, and that goes down.
Three-point shot by
Well, that was McNeil. He got caught trying to go under that screen, and he had to pay dearly. Grill can knock that shot down. That's what you do as a three-point shooter. You make them pay if you try to cheat.
And Grill with 2 shots tonight. They've both been threes, and he's hit them both. Sherman with the fake. Nice pass. Bridges, and it rolls off that front rim.
Yeah, he got a little antsy. Just take your time. Don't baby that up. Go straight up. He's long enough and strong enough to finish that around the basket.
Cyclones started hitting just 4 of their first 17 from the field, but they have hit their last 3 in a row. 17-footer Brockington left that short. Offensive rebound. Aruna, one dribble, had it knocked free. Condit passes back out, keeping it alive for the Cyclones. Hunter.
Great defense.
Curry, shot clock winding down. Well, a couple of important threes for Grill for Iowa State, keeping them close.
Yeah, he's been the key, especially with Brockington not going quite yet. You go under, you're going to pay. He's going to grill you. Iowa State trails.
Well, tickets are on sale now for the 2022 Big 12 Women's Basketball Championship. All session tickets start at just $50 and are available at big12sports.com/buy tickets. Can't wait to see you in Kansas City, March 10th through the 13th. West Virginia on a little bit of a scoring drought here, just over 2 minutes. Iowa State has been able to cut what was a 13-point deficit at one point down to 7. With just over 6 minutes to play in the first half, and Caleb Grill's 2 3-pointers have helped get him back in the game.
Yeah, it has. But if you're West Virginia, Mark, you'll take a little bit of a drought. I mean, 50% from beyond the arc and 52% from the floor. That is pretty good, and your defense has been exceptional to go with that offense.
Sherman threw it to the corner after it pinballed around and nobody there. And West Virginia.
Yeah, that's frustrating for coaches to come out of time. Sorry, Powell. It's frustrating for coaches to come out of timeouts. 1, and you not execute, but 2, you turn the ball over.
Hunter off the mark with a 3. West Virginia's last field goal at the 8:11 mark, so it's been almost 3 minutes since then. They keep possession, though. Kuntz, you're going to hustle play there along the sideline.
Yeah, with Jazz, that may not show up in the box score, but look how far pushed him off, Cottrell off the box to try to get that ball. I mean, that's called doing your work early defensively. He's done that a couple of times here early in this game, Mark.
McNeil feeds Kerrigan, who's doubled there along the baseline. And an Iowa State foul.
Foul is whistled, Iowa State.
A little too aggressive. I thought the double team was exceptional right there.
Foul number 6.
I didn't see where that foul occurred.
Yeah. Now there's the drought. It ends with a Taz Sherman bomb.
Iowa State loves to play through their bigs at the top and get dribble handoff type action.
He fakes the handoff there to Brockington, back around Grill. He's going to take a 3, and he's knocked down all 3 threes he's attempted tonight.
Yeah, and I would add to that, Mark, he's made McNeil pay for every single mistake tonight defensively. They're 4 for 11 from beyond the arc. Grill has been the key.
Offensive foul. Kuntz there to take the charge, and Iowa State making a little bit of a run here.
Well, and part of it is because of Jazz. Look at his defense. He has been in the right spot multiple times defensively. And that's a no question call. Quite obvious.
8 first-half turnovers for the Mountaineers. Jones trying to shoot over Kerrigan. Ball Karam's out of bounds. It's going to remain with Iowa State.
Anything you can get from Jones is a bonus down there. That's not something they typically look for him in terms of scoring the ball. They play through him. At the top, he sets screens, and he's just a very active player around the boards.
Jones gets in the lane, but right there on his hip was Pauly-Cap. Shot off the mark, and then Sherman going up for the rebound, gets pulled down and fouled.
Yeah, and if Grill makes that shot, you live with it, Mark, because McNeil was there that time, and sometimes the offense is just better than the defense. The other 3 threes, I thought he either tried to go under or had his hands down early, and that's what allowed Grill to get a clean look. That one was not a clean look.
And his first 3-point miss of the game, as you mentioned, hit his first 3, missed that one, so he's 3 for 4. But a 6-point game with 4:02 to play in the first half. And after the 7th Iowa State team foul, a 1-and-1 here for Taz Sherman, who's 1-2 from the line tonight. Misses the front end, but it is off Iowa State. Possession Mountaineers.
Most of the 50-50 action is going to the more aggressive team, which is West Virginia.
Right off the inbounds, open 3. You cannot leave Taz Sherman open in the corner off the baseline inbounds pass.
Well, he was open there, Mark, because he went to set the screener. It's almost like decoy action because the screen is about making the defense help, and then he went to the corner and got wide open. You're exactly right. You got to stay with Taz even when he's screening.
Kuntz 3. Tip, good. There nicely was Jaden Walker.
It's a good offensive putback. Walker, talk about doing your work early. Put himself in position to get that finish.
Walker in a game for just the 7th time. He did play a couple of minutes in the loss to Texas on Saturday. Looking. Kobe Johnson. McNeil takes the long two. Long rebound yanked down by Brockington. Kuntz, little body there he takes from Cottrell, and Isaiah picks up the foul.
Yeah, Mark, there's some unlikely heroes today. Wilson on one end for West Virginia, and then Walker for Iowa State, who trails the Mountaineers.
The men's basketball team is back in action. Kuntz, one and the bonus.
We come out of the timeout after the 7th West Virginia team foul. A 1-and-1 here for Jazz Kuntz, who's a 69% foul shooter, and he leaves it short. West Virginia ball.
Critical 2.5 minutes here, Mark, for West Virginia, considering that they not only have the lead, they want to maintain momentum here going into the halftime.
Osaboyan gets in the lane. His pass deflected. Jaden Walker, he and Condit kind of looked at each other. They had a chance to just grab the ball and complete the steal, but instead it bounces out of bounds.
Yeah, anytime you can get Gabe having to make plays, it's to your advantage. He's a defensive stopper, rebound the ball, but if he's got to make plays, particularly from that far from the basket, I think it favors Iowa State.
And Sherman already has 6 rebounds in this game, which is tied a career high, and we still have a couple minutes left in the first half. A half that West Virginia has led throughout. They've never trailed, led by as many as 13. And up by 7 with 2 minutes to go. Hunter ran right into Osaboyan. It goes off his knee and out of bounds, and the Cyclones turn it over for a 6th time.
Well, that's who Gabe is. You saw the other end with the turnover, him trying to make a play, but defensively he hedges out hard here. You see great hands, goes off of Hunter, and Hunter has to come off of that a lot harder, especially if Osaboyan is on the backside, because of Osaboyan's athletic ability.
McNeil, long two. His second basket of this first half. He has 5 points.
That's just great pace coming off that screen. He took his time, got to his spot, and was able to raise up and knock it down. It wasn't premeditated. He took what the defense gave him.
Good ball movement. Now the drive by Walker. Blocking foul on Osaboyan, who not happy. Slaps a hand to the floor. Starts barking about it.
Yeah, I understand that, Mark. He was certainly outside of the restricted area. Ooh, that was really close. Very subjective. I'm not there.
Yeah, as you said, we're working remotely. My question would be, when Walker left his feet, did Osaboyan slip underneath him where he was going to come down? But again, tough to tell.
That's the question for me as well. I couldn't tell if he was in the air already. Yeah, I think it's the right call. I think it's the right call. With the little ball don't lie mixed in.
Iowa State
foul in the backcourt.
Jaden
Walker. That's a frustrating sequence there for Jaden. It started out well. He had a tip in right after he came in off the Iowa State bench, and then some frustration right there with the free throws. And then the issue, did he get whacked in the eye there? Looks like Kedry.
You got to use your head there if you're Walker. I mean, you're not really going to gain much that far from the basket.
Front end hit by Kedry and Johnson. He's the first Mountaineer besides Sherman to shoot a free throw in this first half. Taz had shot 3, hit 2 prior to that. Iowa State, by the way, is just 1 of 5 from the line. Kedry, a 75% foul shooter, hits both. And the lead back to double digits.
Anything they can get from those guys offensively is a boom for their offense.
Osaboyan right there in the grill of Condit, and Doug Sermon said a little too close. And this time Osaboyan's gonna clap. He's like, all right.
Yeah, but that goes in the Walker category for me. You have the offense where you want them. There's no need. There's no need. He's got the ball above his head. The offense is in a defensive position. You're great.
Another front end miss by the Cyclones, who are now 1 for 6 from the line in this first half as we slip under the final minute. Polycap, where's he going to go? Back for McNeil. They try to trap McNeil. He finds Kedrian Johnson, who drives, scores, and one.
Kedrian Johnson, and one.
How about the aggression and balance to take the hit, Mark, and then get that ball up over the rim? Uses his body. Great job by Johnson with that finish.
Everybody okay under the basket? Including those manning cameras. Kedrian Johnson, last year, his first year with West Virginia, came off the bench all 26 games he played. He had started every game this season until tonight. Coming off the bench for the first time this year, and Kedrian has 5 points.
Well, it's amazing how the bench can assist the coach sometimes.
Grill, tough three. Fourth made 3 of the half for Caleb Grill, and that was a difficult shot.
Yeah, and there's nothing you can do about that. That was just extremely well executed. He came off the screen from that distance. You got to possibly try to deny him. Nothing you can do with that, Mark. That's when you got it rolling. Great shot by Grill.
That was nothing but net. It ended a 7-0 West Virginia run. You see the first half numbers for Caleb Grill, who's averaging about 7 points per game, and he's almost doubled that here in the first half alone tonight.
Yeah, some unlikely starts for both ball clubs. His season high is 20.
And Grill did not have a good game shooting Saturday at Texas. He missed all 3 three-point shots he attempted. He does have a game where he has hit 5 threes. That was the January 26th game at Oklahoma State. Went 5 for 7 from beyond the arc for 15 points.
And Texas did a good job of taking Brockington out of the game. As you know, when they were in Hilton and other guys stepped up, and they did something similar at Texas, and Grill and his teammates really were unable to offer much help to Brockington.
Well, West Virginia has kept Brockington pretty quiet in this first half tonight, Lance. He's just 1 of 5 from the field for 3 points. Not much difference between the shot clock and game clock, and underneath, Polycap lays it in. Cyclones can hold it for the final shot. They're down 13.
Great call from the bench there, executing that out of a timeout.
Kuntz. And that's going to be the final shot of the half. He pulls him to within 11 as the Mountaineers led by 14 inside that last minute of the half. But Taz Sherman with 10 points. And West Virginia has a 39-28 11-point lead here at the break, Lance.
Yeah, well, Taz is right on pace to end up where he usually does, which is right around 20. What adjustments does Iowa State make? And the question to me is, can West Virginia sustain this great first half? This is as good a first half as they've had in a long time, Mark.
Well, a technical foul has been assessed as the half ended on Gabe Osaboyan of West Virginia. Again, we're working remotely, so we're getting word from on site that Osaboyan won't clear that out, but we have come to the half. 39-28 West Virginia. We have more to come when we come back from this short timeout.
It goes as a team foul as well. West Virginia will start the second half.
There's Roy Williams along with wife Wanda. They are in Morgantown tonight. First chance for the Hall of Famer Roy Williams to catch a game at WVU Coliseum. And since he's in the same building with West Virginia head coach Bob Huggins, we have the only two men with 300-plus wins at two different Division I schools. Of course, Roy at Kansas and North Carolina, and Hugs from Cincinnati and West Virginia. That's a lot of W's.
A lot of basketball won, Mark, and that is not an easy thing to do. You know, you really grow to appreciate winning, especially as you get older.
Well, you may recall there was a technical foul called right at the end of the first half on Gabe Osabuoyen. So that means we're going to begin the second half with those technicals being shot by Isaiah Brockington for Iowa State. So you don't see a half start this way very often, Lance, when we get this tonight.
No, you don't. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with the momentum. You know, Brockington out of the start gets to see the ball go through the basket. No Osabuoyen there. I think that started, Mark, when he was called for the blocking call, and then he got a little frustrated and committed another foul and just let that hang around in his head all the way through the end of the half.
Well, how about this, Lance? Iowa State has already made more free throws in the second half than they did in the first half, and no time has come off the clock yet.
How about that? That's a heck of a stat, and possibly a key one, considering that brings it under 10 in terms of the score.
Yeah, 39-30 as we get rolling here in the second half. Great to have you with us tonight on Big 12 Now on ESPN+.
One of the keys to this half is not necessarily on this end. Yeah, you want to take care of the ball. You want to run your offense. Obviously, you've got Taz back, so you're going to be able to generate offense there. But the intensity that you started the game with, you want to bring that back. You also want to be able to do it on the other end and not allow easy baskets for Iowa State if you're West Virginia.
Tyrese Hunter picked up his second personal foul for Iowa State.
Yeah, trying to get the ball into the post.
Sherman, that's deflected out of bounds by Kalsher. 10 first half points for Taz Sherman, and he's already tied a career high with 6 rebounds. A couple of assists as well for Taz.
And Jones doing a great job guarding.
Shot clock violation.
Well, it was only about a second, a little bit more than that on the shot clock when they inbound. So
yeah, incredibly poor recognition on the offensive end there for West Virginia. You got to recognize that you're late in the clock.
Here's Brockington. He's going to shoot the 19-footer, and that is a long rebound to Kedrian Johnson. Brockington 1 for 6 from the field. It was his first shot attempt of the second half. Bridges, floater, tried to kiss that in. Nope. And Aruna looks for the outlet to Brockington.
Great floor balance, even though Iowa State is pushing the ball. Defense already set.
Jones tries to thread a pass to Brockington, and Kedrian Johnson called for a foul. It was a dangerous pass at that, and Iowa State's fortunate.
Johnson, his second.
Yeah, Mark, you talked about it earlier about Brockington being out of the game here, and Jones throws that pass. Iowa State is very lucky to get a foul call there.
Aruna was hesitant to go into the backcourt, which he could on the inbounds, and Bridges beat him to the ball, takes it to the rim, and gets fouled.
Yeah, I understand why Aruna did that, though, Mark. You see, he almost slowed down because the ball, he was going to catch it right on the line, which he still could have gotten a backcourt call. He should have just gone ahead and gotten the ball and lived with the result versus a live ball turnover, which was the result.
Bridges sinks his first free throw attempt of the night. See how he has done from the line. He has made his last 28 in a row. They get 29.
Yeah, the young fella Bridges, he's got to play stronger around the basket. I think sometimes he likes to settle too much on the perimeter. Use that long body and take it up strong. Not get bullied around the basket.
Hunter loses it, tipped around into the arms of Polycap. Sherman.
The foul whistled on Iowa State's number 23, Tristan Enaruna. His second
personal foul on Enaruna.
Morgan, I think the longer you can keep Brockington quiet for Iowa State, the advantage goes to the Mountaineers. Contrarily, they have their star heavily involved in the game, obviously scoring the ball.
Checking in for Iowa State, number 5.
Yeah, Brockington, who averages 17 points a game and 8 rebounds, both highs for the Iowa State team. Right now at 5 points, 3 rebounds. Just about 2 minutes gone in the second half.
Yeah, and talking to Coach Otzelberger too, he doesn't want Brockington to stop shooting.
I don't blame him.
And right, so you 1 for 6. Don't lose your confidence. I mean, Coach has said they rely on his offense. They want him to score the ball.
Sherman, here comes Keegan.
Johnson.
Well, that's just a great steal and turning that into some quick offense. The best part, though, is now you have the crowd involved.
14-point lead for West Virginia, which equals their largest lead of the game. And an offensive foul as Polycap takes the charge.
They took the charge on Coucher. He was wide open. Didn't have to charge, but how about the steal? 50-50 ball, won by Sherman, and then, of course, the nice pass for the finish.
Mountaineer crowd yelling, Paulie, after Polycap takes that charge.
Yeah, Coucher should have just taken one dribble and gone up with that. He didn't have to get all the way to the basket.
Now, this has been a hard place for Iowa State to win over the years. Haven't won in Morgantown since 2015. Long rebound out to Sherman. West Virginia's won the last 5 in a row against Iowa State. Just when Polycap thought he was going to go up with it, Grill got his hand in there. I think they called a travel there on Polycap. They do.
Yeah, he did travel, but how about how aggressive West Virginia is? Mark, I'll take it. Doesn't see that the defense is coming on the backside. Grill does a great job of hitting that ball, but he stays with it. And even though West Virginia didn't come up with that ball, they lost it. It shows their level of aggression, to me, is much higher than that of Iowa State.
See Seth Wilson in the game. He had 7 points in 6 minutes in the first half. Well, the Mountaineers playing with a little extra jump in their step right now. Bridges, little Euro step, but couldn't get it over the rim.
Yeah, I'll take it. Couldn't finish, but how about the extra pass on the perimeter?
Kuntz, long 3, missed everything, and then Jones was in the right spot, and then he is fouled by Polycap.
You better close a window, but how about how aggressive West Virginia is? Polycap handling things around the basket, and he does it both ways, Mark. Did it with the charge, which can be a form of rim protection, and then, of course, did it up high there with verticality and getting the block shot.
Well, West Virginia showing what they see. This is kind of their old hallmark, isn't it?
Yeah,
the defense.
They up defense and overpowering people. physically bullying them, 50-50 balls, charges, blocks. You might remember back in the day, old Konate, Mr. Volleyball shot blocker, who was at West Virginia at once. Absolutely, this is old West Virginia style of basketball, Mark.
Yeah, Sax Konate, he could block with either hand anytime, anywhere. He was impressive. West Virginia trying to snap a 7-game losing skid. It equals their longest since they lost 7 in a row to end the 2012-2013 season. They've never lost 8 in a row since Bob Huggins has been the head coach at West Virginia. They're trying to avoid that tonight. That's out of bounds to Iowa State.
You talk about in a row, and Iowa State's trying to prevent losing 3 in a row. West Virginia is extremely comfortable and in control, up 14.
Kicked up the intensity, Lance.
Yes, they have, and it's just been all about 1-2, Mark, and you can see it in the energy and the type of plays. Look at that, Sherman, the best player on the floor. Then, of course, the finish for the dunk, and then how about Polly? I mean, he's the one who got the crowd into the game, and then watch the block up top. They've been incredibly impressive here in this second half and come out with a level of energy starting from that man, Polycat.
Iowa State does not have a field goal yet in the half. They're 0 for 4. They have 2 points in the half, and those were the 2 free throws from Brockington on the technical that ended the first half. So they haven't actually scored since the clock has been moving here in the second half.
Yeah, and everything is contested. Whether you're bringing the ball up the floor, you can't run your stuff, as coaches like to say. You can't run your action and your plays and your system. West Virginia is really beating Iowa State at every level of the game right now.
Iowa State had only 1 turnover in the last 10.5 minutes of the first half, but they've turned it over 4 times already here in the second half, as Doug Sermons sorting that out for the scores table. Walker tried to punch that out. Curry got in a crowd with Condit and Kuntz around him as well. They're going to charge that on Condit, his second.
Team foul number 6.
Well, there really was nowhere to go. You didn't have to do a whole lot of reaching there. I thought the defense was good enough, Mark.
Curry shooting 2.
Curry was all bottled up, especially with a big right there in Condit.
Curry at the line. He has 2 points tonight. These are his first free throws of the game. Well, Curry went through a stretch here in conference play not long ago where he had 23 at Kansas, followed it up with 19 against Baylor, and then 11 at Texas Tech. A 3-game span between January 15th and the 22nd. And his free throws have given West Virginia their largest lead of the game of 16.
Yeah, and I mean, the last game he was 1 for 8, and it just shows the impact of having a guy like Sherman with you on the floor. Sometimes the best player is nothing more than the security blanket, Mark.
And Walker is short with it and out of bounds. Whatever the reason is, Lance, I don't think there's any doubt that West Virginia is a better team with Taz Sherman in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, there you see him being a coach off the floor.
He has double figure scoring. You see the field goals. Neither team shooting the ball all that well to start the half, but West Virginia with some help from the line are off on a 7-0 run here over the last 3+ minutes.
Yeah, and then the defense, though. The defense is, to me, what's been the key for West Virginia here in this second half.
Cottrell somehow able to get it to Kerrigan for the lay-in by DeMond.
Yeah, and Coucher was there, and sometimes just things are going horribly bad for you, and it looks like the snowball continues to go downhill for Iowa State. Unfortunately, he was in position, Coucher.
Condit. And Iowa State gets their first field goal of the half. Curry about to lose it again, and Walker ties that up. Possession arrow for Iowa State this time.
Yeah, Curry was playing with the ball a little too much there for my liking. Mark, you go get in a position. He was going to run some high screen action, and he really took his time in trying to get there and get in position to come off the screen.
It's the 12th West Virginia turnover. Iowa State's turned it over 11 times tonight. Grill misses a three, actually hit the rim, and that is a foul on West Virginia on the rebound. They're getting Kerrigan on that one.
Yeah, Kerrigan pushed Condit in the back. Condit was in better position to rebound the basketball. I thought it was a good call.
Polycap checks in for West Virginia.
Polycap's going to take Kerrigan's spot on the floor for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, but that may be bad news for Iowa State because of how Polycap has been playing, particularly on this end of the floor, Mark.
Yeah, he's been a man possessed. Kuntz with some room, a little long with the three. Curry, the rebound, quick outlet.
And Polycap was the guy on that closeout with Jazz.
Cottrell did not hit the iron. Grill feeds Walker.
Boy, look at that spacing for Iowa State. They've got that floor wide open, and they love going through their bigs.
And Kalsher did not hit the rim, and it's out of bounds. You know, Kalsher had big three-point shooting games against Kansas and then in their win against Texas in Ames. But since then, that three ball has really not been falling for him.
Yeah, he's been extremely quiet, and we're seeing a lot of air balls tonight, Mark. And they're only 5 for 18. But that can happen. But, Mark, it's the type of misses that we're seeing. I mean, they're not even close, and you've got to credit West Virginia for their defense. You know, you got to make people feel you sometime on that end of the floor. And that's what West Virginia is doing to Iowa State, taking them out of their game and taking confidence.
Shot clock at 5, and then Curry in the lane. He was going up with the shot is fouled.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do when you're pressured that hard, particularly on the perimeter. Beat your man off the dribble. You also like how Curry didn't get caught up in just trying to run offense for its own sake. You've got to make the defense collapse.
And last foul on Kalsher, his 4th of the game, so he's going to come out. Brockington in.
Isaiah Brockington checks back in for Iowa State.
Only foul issues for West Virginia. Kedrian Johnson and Gable Saboyan each have 3.
And if you're Brockington, you've got to start generating some offense, even if you have to take a bad shot or two, Mark. You can't just accept the pressure defense and the denying of the basketball.
Mountaineers in the loss to Tech on Saturday actually shot pretty well from the free throw line. They've extended that tonight. They have hit 12 of 14 from the stripe. While Iowa State's just 3 of 10 from the line. Hunter to Kuntz. His 3 is on the way. Swish.
Three-point basket by Kuntz.
And he played off of Brockington there. I think all roads, if they're going to get back into this game, go through Brockington and Hunter for Iowa State.
Cottrell in a bad spot, went up with it, tried to find McNeil in the corner, but it's out off Grill.
And good job by Kuntz not fouling there. Used the verticality rule to his favor, kept those long arms up and prevented an easy basket, even though he was out of position momentarily. Great recovery and defense from behind.
Grill racing McNeil, who touched that last. And they say off McNeil, Iowa State ball.
Thought that was the right call. It was really literally just a foot race that McNeil lost.
Ooh, I don't know if that hit Grill's foot last. It was hard to tell.
Yeah,
I think it did hit Grill's foot last. We got that great look from our crew from the baseline there, and Amy Bonner calling a foul on Polycap.
Foul whistled on Polycap, his second, team foul number 5. Kaz Sherman and Kobe Johnson check in for the Mountaineers.
Taz comes back for the Mountaineers, who have not scored in almost 3 minutes now, West Virginia. Here's Kuntz, who scored 5 points tonight. He had not scored in 5 of his last 6 games coming in. There's the drive. Tough angle. Got it. And one for the freshman Tyrese Hunter. Boy, that had a high degree of difficulty.
Yeah, it did, because he'll hold this. Watch him with the little pump against Polycap. The difficulty came in who was there defending. Great job taking the hit. Iowa State won't go away.
TJ Otzelberger.
At the foul line for Iowa State.
His Iowa State team has trailed throughout in this game. Trailed by as many as 18. Have cut this to 13 with Tyrese Hunter at the line, looking to complete a 3-point play, and does so.
It's critical to get Hunter involved, or get himself involved offensively with Brockington.
Bridges. And foul. Kuntz, his second.
Foul is whistled on Iowa State's number 5. Jazz Kuntz picks up his second personal team foul, number 8.
Kuntz.
And the big thing there, Mark, is
1-1.
That foul, West Virginia being in the bonus this early, really puts a lot of pressure on Iowa State's defense.
Iowa State, even though they've lost 4 of their last 6, came in at 16-7. Most improved in the nation. Iowa State plus 14. When you go 2-22 and 0-18 in conference the year before, a chance to improve on those marks. But right now, his team in danger of dropping their 5th in their last 7 if they can't come back here at Morgantown tonight.
Yeah, and I talked to Coach not long ago about where they are in this season, and he said this conference is that tough.
McNeil from an odd angle and a grill foul. Caleb's second with 11.5 minutes to go.
State's number 2, Caleb Grill.
West Virginia's
second.
Gone over 3.5 minutes without a field goal.
At the line for the Mountaineers, Sean McNeil, shooting 2.
Yeah, and talking to Coach Otzelberger, he said that the conference is literally as tough as advertised. And especially, too, when you start playing teams for that second time. I mean, it's just a very good defensive conference with good coaches and good players from top to bottom.
Well, TJ Otzelberger back in Ames. Let's take a look at the coaching career. An assistant 2 different times for Iowa State. Came back to Ames after a stint in Seattle, and then as a head coach with South Dakota State. Did very well there at UNLV for a couple of years, and now he is the head man for Iowa State. You know, he went to a couple NCAA tournaments with South Dakota State. And right now his team has not had a good night from the line either. Now they're 4 of 12. For a team that was shooting 70% from the line on the year coming in. Sherman, 3.
Sherman.
The return of Taz is a big story tonight in Morgantown, Lance.
Well, you just gave the headline, and how about the poise there, just to step aside, wait. He plays with great pace, not in a rush.
14 points for Taz. Yep.
Exactly right, Mark.
I don't think there's any doubt his absence on Saturday played a big reason in the outcome of the game, where West Virginia losing to Texas Tech by 7.
Just math. Now watch the step aside there.
At the line for Iowa State,
it's really good poise and maturity. You know, it took him a little while when he first arrived to get to this point where he is now scoring at this level, but he's always been a kid that could score the basketball. And as you talked about really before the broadcast, Mark, with Deuce being gone and some of the others,
Derek Culver as well,
he's emerged as the guy.
Taz in double figures with 14 points. The only non-double figure scoring game for him this year was the loss at Kansas. He had only 5 points, went 1 for 9 from the field.
And West Virginia, they've had their share of bad luck, including in the Star Conference play with COVID protocol. They were at Texas, and he didn't get to play in the game.
Yeah. He or Osaboyan.
Yep.
Didn't play in that January 1st game. They open a conference opener.
Gabe Kalsher checks back in for Iowa State.
Kalsher with 4 fouls returns for the Cyclones. West Virginia
mentioned that they need Hunter and Brockton to get back in the game, but they also need some pace in this game. Having to come down and grind it out in the half court every time is just too difficult.
That's Hunter fouled going to the rim as we're midway through this second half. West Virginia's outscored Iowa State 18-11 here in the second half.
At the foul line for Iowa State, Tyrese Hunter, 2 shots.
Iowa State 5 of 14 from the line tonight, and Hunter looks to improve on that.
And Wilson check in for the Mountaineers. Jones for Iowa State.
So Taz take a seat along with Bridges, and it's a little word with Hugs on the way back to the bench. Does Sherman?
And I mean, when you look at a stat sheet in this game, especially where it is now, with the way that Grill is shooting, 6 shots are not enough for him. Brockington, even though he struggled, he's 1 for 8. That's not enough for him. West Virginia has pretty much taken them out of everything that they would need to do, that being Iowa State, to have a chance in this game.
Tyrese Hunter now with 10 points joins Grill as a double-figure scorer for the Cyclones. Caleb Grill with 12, but speaking of Grill, his 3rd foul.
Team foul number 10.
And 10th team foul already against Iowa State in the half, so West Virginia is going to be in the double bonus the rest of the way.
Yeah, Curry did a good job there. I mean, West Virginia can't even speed them up. I mean, very obvious there. They're controlling tempo, West Virginia.
That was just the 3rd free throw miss of the game for the Mountaineers in 19 attempts. Somebody might have gotten in early, but for Iowa State, doesn't matter as pair split by Curry. Hunter kicks. Walker. Hunter on the drive. Tyrese Hunter has been more aggressive getting it to the rim here in the second half.
Yes, he has, and able to finish, especially at that size. He's obviously, as you can see there, extremely athletic, able to take a hit from a big and finish.
Wilson trying to give it up to Kerrigan, and West Virginia's fortunate they didn't turn it over. Doug Sermon stops play.
Not sure. Oh, wet spot.
Oh, okay. There we go. That's the reason why. Get some of the moisture off the court.
Checks in for the Mountaineers.
Polycap's come back for West Virginia. Cottrell faced up. Jones knocked it out of his hands. And West Virginia has turned it over for the 15th time.
Yeah, teammates got to get open. He was stuck.
Walker fouled as he was shooting. He had gotten so far underneath the backboard. He was at a tough angle, but Pauly gets his 4th personal. So he's the first West Virginia player to 4 fouls.
Jaden Walker at the foul line.
He hit the side of the backboard with that shot.
Yeah, and right now, Mark, Iowa State guys, they can do that. They can get into the paint. We've seen it with Hunter on multiple occasions.
Well, Polycap goes out, 4 fouls, but you hear the cheer from the Mountaineer crowd. Let me give you the line on Polycap. 2 points, 1 of 2 from the field. But it's what he has done away from the ball and everything defensively, and this crowd loves it.
Yeah, they love the energy that he brings. He had a big block, obviously, charge. I mean, not everything you do shows up in a box score. The biggest has been his energy level and effort.
Wilson misses the 15-footer. And it won't go down for Tyrese Hunter, but once again, he's taking it to the rim, and he's going to shoot 2.
Yeah, how many times have we seen this half for Iowa State? Especially with Hunter getting to the rim, does it in an open floor situation, poor defense and not stopping the ball out up front. He just has a knack for not only getting to the rim, but getting fouled and getting his body against the big so he can ensure either a finish mark or a trip to the free throw line. And he's just going to get better and better. I mean, he's just a freshman.
You know, you and I called the Iowa State win over Texas in Ames, and Tyrese Hunter had a breakout game that afternoon. I'm sure you remember, Lance, how well he played, the true freshman.
Yeah, I do. I remember the 8 assists on only 2 turnovers. And he created that. Right now, for Iowa State, he has the game in his hands. He forced that turnover by Curry by forcing him to play a little faster. You might remember you had a similar possession a moment ago when Curry ended up getting fouled, but there I thought Hunter sped him up because of the pressure defense.
Here's Jaden Walker, who's gotten 13 minutes of playing time tonight. Gives to the corner, and Kalsher now 0 for 5 from the field, 4 of those being 3-point shots.
Yeah, you just got to make shots. I thought that was a great drive and pass. You got to finish it if you want to get back in the game.
And now Brockington on the bench for Iowa State. He's 1 for 8 from the field tonight with 5 points in 26 minutes.
And I said it earlier, I'll say it again, it's the 8 shots that would bother me with Brockington.
Hunter, Walker reverses and scores. A little life for the Cyclones. They were down by as many as 19. Now they have cut that to 10.
And how about the way you're doing it? I think it's because of Polycap not being on the floor. You're doing it with layups, Mark, and free throws.
Cottrell bumped and fouled, and that's going to take us to break.
Well, we might be 6 for 20 from the 3, but so what? We'll get layups and get back in the game. Down by 10.
Well, Iowa State is on a 7-0 run over the last 2 minutes, 20 seconds. That's all happened with Brockington on the bench, and it looks like he's going to stay on the bench for now, Lance. Surprised by that?
I am a little bit because he's your best player. He's the guy who's gotten you this far. I can't imagine that Coach Otzelberger is giving up on him. Those are my words. He's got to stay engaged, and there's an opportunity to get back in this game. But, yeah, I am a little surprised that he isn't in there now to possibly be a part of getting them closer than the 10 points they are at now.
No doubt it's been a subpar game for Brockington on the scoring department. 1 for 8, as you mentioned, 5 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Only 2 fouls. It's not a foul issue that's keeping him on the bench. West Virginia splits the pair at the line. They have not had a field goal, though, in over 4 minutes, the Mountaineers.
And Iowa State pretty much getting to the basket anytime they want, even in half-court situations of late.
Well, Condit was looking to the rim and had it punched right out of his hands. And the other way, Kedrian Johnson has it knocked away by Tyrese Hunter.
Well, that was a great play by Hunter with the quick hands.
Checks in for the Mountaineers.
Watch this. He's going to put the ball right out in front of him. You've got to keep that on your right hip and take that ball up. You bring it down that low with the guard as quick as Hunter. That's exactly what's going to happen. He's going to snap it out of your hands.
The first field goal in about 4.5 minutes for West Virginia is a Jalen Bridges three-pointer.
Well, that's what Bridges likes to do, shoot from that distance. But right on cue.
Yes.
With right at the rim. He's literally living at the rim. He can build a house down there.
15 points for Tyrese Hunter. An open look and a three for Sean McNeil, his second three tonight.
Well, this is the reason that West Virginia hasn't been able to have a lot of success late. They haven't been able to sustain offense at this level all the way through a game. This has been quite impressive, Mark.
And impressive is Tyrese Hunter here in this second half. He is keeping Iowa State in the game. 18 points for the freshman.
Oh, yeah, he's pretty much taken over the game, scoring both at the rim and now knocking down threes. I said it once, I'm going to say it again.
Tyrese Hunter, his career high is 20 points. That came at Oklahoma on January 8th. He's just shy of that tonight. 18 points on 6 of 11 shooting. He's hit a couple of threes. You add in a couple of rebounds and 3 assists in his 24 minutes.
Yeah, and his 3 assists against 5 turnovers. Not to pick on him with the turnovers, but his teammates have got to make a few more shots, or you would hope would make some more shots. Of course, we talked about Brockington being 1 for 8. Coucher, who fouled out, only 0 for 5. Jazz, Kuntz, 1 for 4. So not a lot of help from Hunter's teammates, particularly on the perimeter, Mark.
And Brockington is back in the game for Iowa State. A miss, but an Osaboyan rebound. He just kind of flipped it out. And running out to meet it was Brockington. He's going to take it the other way and score. And for Brockington, just his second field goal of the game.
Well, does the layup plus what Hunter's been doing get Brockington going? They're going to need assistance with Hunter on the offensive end.
The last possession for West Virginia was their 17th turnover. That ties a single game season high for the Mountaineers. Still 5 minutes to go. Grill creates the steal. Gets it back. He drives, gets caught, finds Brockington, who lays it in. And here come the Cyclones, only down 8.
Well, this is a game with momentum now heavily in Iowa State's favor. The offense has all but come to a screeching halt for West Virginia. I mean, aside from missing shots, they can't even run anything right now. Iowa State has amped things up so high intensity-wise in denial of the ball, Mark.
And this is a season-high 18 turnovers now, but at the other end, there's Brockington's second bucket of the game.
Yeah, Grill did a great job. He ran out of real estate, but his teammates kept coming. I think that's a huge positive for Brockington to get 2 back-to-back baskets just to see the ball go through the hoop.
West Virginia led by 19 points with 11 minutes to go in this second half. That has been cut to 8. West Virginia gets a stop that time, though. Sherman floater off the left side. But Curry keeps it alive for the Mountaineers. And the foul committed by Grill. His 4th.
And Grill got a little overzealous there. He was in position, just play your defense. Iowa State continues to get closer. We're going to take a break.
West Virginia is trying to snap a 7-game losing skid. They've never lost 8 in a row with Bob Huggins as their head coach. They've seen a 19-point lead about midway through this second half be whittled down to 8. This is the closest Iowa State has been since they were down 7 at 30-23 with about 3.5 minutes left in the first half. A big reason they're right back in the game is Tyrese Hunter.
You know, Mark, one of the things that makes this conference so difficult and these teams so good, it reminds me of NBA games in this way. NBA games get extremely long because the players are so good, and the games themselves obviously are long, and just because it's difficult and you got to run through the tape, so to speak. But in the case of this conference, the coaches obviously are so good, and the players defend really hard, and you have to play a full game. And we're seeing that here tonight with Iowa State refusing to go away in spite of being down most of the game, but they have found their rhythm. And even though it's 10 points, it feels a lot closer because of all the offense that they've been able to generate, along with the stops on the other end of the floor.
Curry 7 of 8 from the line tonight, part of a 20-24 effort from the line for West Virginia as a team, and they generate a turnover, 13th of the game for Iowa State.
Yeah, and did a great job there of not allowing Brockington, who is a lefty, to get going downhill to the left side, picking up where they left off here in the first half.
This West Virginia offense, though, Lance, has stagnated a bit here in the second half.
Yes, it has. And a lot of the stagnate has been through turnovers, not necessarily just missed shots.
And that's a shot clock violation of Bridges' 3. Didn't hit the rim. So an empty possession for the Mountaineers. Iowa State with a chance to get this down to single digits. Here's Brockington driving, shooting, had it blocked.
That was excellent defense, not allowing Brockington to put his body on any of the bodies of the defenders. That's what allowed them to get that block.
A Pauly Cap block.
And how many times have we seen him make a play? But watch here, Brockington catapults his body. Not only the block, but Bridges used verticality there as well.
If you just look at the numbers for Pauly Cap.
With that.
Yeah,
buddy,
Lance,
I keep talking over you. My apologies.
Hey, if you just look at the numbers for Pauly Cap tonight, you're not getting the story on him and his effort tonight at all.
No, you're not. I mean, he is. If you look up the phrase doesn't show up in the box score, you'll see Pauly Cap's face tonight because though he's had some nice blocks, obviously, in the charge, his energy level, look at that, his energy level and what he's put forth and the will he's imposed on this game is a big reason for their lead.
We were wondering for a while Brockington was on the bench, he has come off the bench and has resurfaced, shall we say. Suddenly he has 11 points.
Yeah, and most of those points on plays such as this, meaning at the rim, layups. He had a couple of breaks. He's certainly playing with a little more of a desperation than was the case in the first half.
Iowa State has now won in Morgantown since 2015. They've lost the last 5 overall meetings with West Virginia in a row. West Virginia leads the all-time series against Iowa State 11-8. This is the 20th meeting between these schools. They've all come since West Virginia joined the Big 12 back in 2012, 2013. You know, really for West Virginia, Lance, it's kind of the hidden issue. Maybe it's not really hidden. There are 20 turnovers tonight, a season high.
Yeah, and they're very fortunate to be in good shape, at least right now, in spite of it.
12 of those 20 turnovers for the Mountaineers have come here in the second half. Sherman fires, and there goes Bridges. They let him go free, and he stuffs it.
Yeah, and they also didn't succumb to the pressure. They attacked it and ended up with getting a turnover of their own from Iowa State.
He does a dozen. Curry gets a bump from Brockington. Brockington's third personal. Stops it with 2:12 to go.
Yeah, you mentioned things showing up in the box score. I think Curry has been so solid. It's a great bounce back game.
At the line for West Virginia, Malik Curry, 2 shots.
Took one
running
in the
into bodies out there. It's like a pinball in a pinball machine.
Well, the free throw line has helped save West Virginia tonight. They're a team that has shot 69% from the line on the season. They're shooting 86% from the line tonight, 24 of 28. High off the glass, but a miss by Hunter. And now West Virginia wants to eat some of that clock with a 14-point edge and 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, you mentioned the free throw shooting, Mark, and that's what it's going to come down to is percentage of making shots. There's another one right at about 49% from the floor, 9 for 18, 50% from the three. And then to add to it, here's another great finish right down the middle of the lane all the way to the basket. I'm not so sure who to give the MVP to tonight.
Fourth foul on Brockington. Curry, 10 of 11 from the line, 14 points. West Virginia, they hang on to win this game. I think the MVP maybe is just Taz Sherman, just because he came back and everything just blossomed from there for West Virginia tonight, Lance.
You know what? There are 2 or 3 names you could say, Mark, and I won't argue with you. One of them is Taz. But that's it. That's probably the safest because he impacted the most people, namely his teammates, Curry, Polycap. A huge game.
Well, the West Virginia crowd sensing that this 7-game losing skid is about to end for the Mountaineers, thanks to 4 scores in double figures tonight. McNeil 10, Curry and Bridges with 14, Sherman has 16. Hunter, who's had an outstanding second half, gives it up to Kuntz. Off the heel, tipped. Brockington, back out. Hunter, 3. Third chance, going back up, and a block by Osaboyan on a shot attempt by Walker, and the clock stops with 37 seconds left. But I think Mountaineer fans are starting to breathe easy that 7-game skid's about over.
Yeah, you talk about the MVP voting. Look at Osaboyan. The physicalness, if you will, Mark, of West Virginia came back tonight too. If we don't put names to MVP, let's just put being physical as a unit, and particularly up front. Wilson, that's another one who had some MVP in it in him. He had a unbelievable first half. Didn't have a lot going after that, but he had a moment there, 5 or 6 minute moment in the first half where he was the best player on the floor.
Yeah, I think Mountaineer fans are going to see more of Seth Wilson as this season continues to play out.
Yeah, he's only played in 10 games this season, but none better than what he did in the first half, especially under the circumstances.
And the other game of the Big 12 tonight in Fort Worth, TCU and Oklahoma State, 3-point game in the final 30 seconds there over on ESPNU. But here in Morgantown, West Virginia will end their 7-game losing streak. McNeil decides to shoot it as the shot clock expires. Hunter.
Basket by Hunter.
It's a new career high for Hunter. He has 22, but the clock runs out on Iowa State, and West Virginia takes it by 16. They win it over the Cyclones 79-63.
Well, Mark, we talked about great news, and Taz came back and got it done. The 16 points were bigger than that because his teammates played with a whole different confidence than they did when he was out in last game against Texas Tech. The Mountaineers officially become extremely dangerous with the one-game win streak,
On behalf of the men's basketball
taking Iowa
team,
State to
thank you
3
for
losses
attending
in a row.
tonight's game. For a
Mountaineers
recap,
now
visit
14-9 overall,
WVUsports.com.
3-7 in conference, while Iowa State drops to 16-8 overall and 3-8 in conference play. That's going to take care of things from Morgantown tonight. Taz Sherman comes back, leads the way with 16 for the Mountaineers. They end their 7-game losing streak. For Lance Blanks and our entire outstanding crew, I'm Mark Neely. Thanks for sharing this one with us. You've been watching Big 12 Now on ESPN+. Mountaineers win it by 16.